Hey there, it's Chris Cashman behind the scenes here at Boehm's Candies in Ciscoe, where they are still hand dipping and they are gearing up for Easter. I got the near life-size Mount Rainier for my family. But perhaps the sweetest thing about this place is the founder, Julius Boehm. You don't know? We'll tell you about him tonight on Evening.
Every person in this room has the perfect motive.
The campy cult movie Clue turns 40.
Me too. Shut up!
Lesley Ann Warren tells Saint why she still loves Miss Scarlet.
She's slightly pissed off all the time, which is fun to play.
The story behind this whale of a small town attraction.
The people love it and the visitors love it.
And smoking Texas-style barbecue in the Northwest.
Bob's barbecue ribs, baby. Right off the grill.
Well, hi there and welcome to the show from one of my absolute favorite places, Boehm's Candies, a roadside attraction here in Ciscoe. You've driven by it for decades, but perhaps you didn't know about the incredible heritage. The namesake, Julius Boehm, lived quite the life.
We make around 100 some different products. So you can see, totally finished piece. We make good chocolates and we use, like what everybody says, the best ingredients and the best habits how to make good chocolates. Narissa, my daughter, she always tells people that she's a hand dipper.
This is English toffee. This is good stuff. This is how I won my husband over.
In our production, we're using around 210,000 pounds of chocolate a year.
It's funny because they'll come in the door and they'll buy chocolates, but they don't even know this whole factory exists, like right behind the curtain. So it's always fun to see their surprise when we tell them, hey, go peek in the windows or sign up for a tour.
The heritage behind Boehm's Candies is perhaps richer than the chocolate itself.
Now I'm just gonna scoop it out on the table, just like playing in the mud if the mud was chocolate, and make loaves out of it.
Julius Boehm's journey to America was a rocky road in itself.
That's one of the recipes what already our founder Julius Boehm made 60 some years ago.
But it led him here to a location that reminded him of the Austrian Alps he grew up admiring. Affectionately known as the Ciscoe Alps. Hard to miss with paragliders accenting the skies.
It reminded him of his homeland.
Not a bad backdrop for making chocolate.
We are established enough, and I think we're unique enough with the grounds.
And tucked among the trees is one of the property's most unexpected features. A picturesque and pint-sized alpine chapel. The bell rings just once a year on New Year's Eve. And perhaps once more when a hometown kid stops by with his TV show.
So that's one part of it. But also the founder, Julius Boehm. So this is Julius, probably in the 60s, skiing. He was not a tall person, he was my size kind of, but he was a very hardy man and he was competitive in 14 different sports. The Olympic rings on here. He was a 400-meter relay runner in the 1924 Olympics. In 1936, because of his other accomplishments in skiing and swimming and water polo and all the sports he just mastered basically. So we have from the 1936 Olympics, we have the torch.
Perhaps my favorite part about this incredible property is Julius's private residence. It's still here, it's still intact, and you've never seen anything quite like it.
Julius climbed Mount Rainier when he was 70 years old. Somebody climbed Mount Rainier who was, I think, 72 years old, so he was upset about that. He waited a couple of years, and he climbed Mount Rainier again when he was 81 years old. I was asked by Julius, can you carry on? That it is really like Julius's story. I'm here for 58 years, and I still think that Julius's ghost is still running around here with me every day. We're trying to hang on to Julius's vision, and I'm very proud of it.
Quite the legacy. Since the early 80s, Bernard and his family have been protectors and carrying on this tradition. I hope you will come visit Boehm's. They've got one of everything, even 2 or 3 of everything. All right, fans of the comedy classic from 1985, Clue, I've got a hot tip for you. One of the stars is going to be in town this weekend. Lesley Ann Warren will be here for a screening and a Q&A, but first, she sat down with Saint.
Every person in this room has the perfect motive.
Stand back!
For murder.
What do you mean? Murder.
But only one of these suspects is the murderer.
40 years ago, the board game Clue came to life on the big screen, and while the critics originally bashed it, Clue became a cult classic in the streaming age. Lesley Ann Warren remembers getting a phone call from co-star Martin Mull.
They said, "Are you getting a lot of fan mail from Clue?" And I said, "Yeah." And that's when we sort of realized that it was building a momentum and a sort of cult status, really, that we hadn't expected.
Me too. Shut up!
Lesley jumped at the chance to play the manipulative, quick-witted Miss Scarlet, a character she describes as smart, sly, and sassy.
The other thing I like about the character, as I embodied her, was that she's slightly pissed off all the time, which is fun to play.
You're a communist.
No, Mr. Green. Communism is just a red herring.
What was it like on set?
It was a joy. I mean, we were all laughing all the time at each other's work. It was great.
I'm shouting, I'm shouting, I'm shouting.
Among the standouts, a tireless Tim Curry as the butler.
And to make a long story short, too late.
All of us had a lot of running to do. He had the most. He never made a mistake. I'm not kidding. He really was extraordinary.
The movie featured multiple endings, something the actors didn't know until nearly the end of the 3-month shoot.
We didn't know, which was kind of great because we were all playing being suspicious of each other, which is perfect, you know?
Today, Clue attracts fans of all ages, from 8 to 80, who are expected to pack the Pantages Theater in Tacoma for a special screening, where Lesley will participate in Q&As and meet and greets.
And it's an opportunity for me to meet these ardent and devoted fans, which is, you know, a blessing.
40 years later, we're still talking about Clue. And Lesley Ann Warren thinks she knows why.
It's really funny. It's really funny, and I think it's clever, and it's zany.
Clue. It's not just a game anymore.
Thank you, Saint. What a cool opportunity to hang out and watch with the original Miss Scarlet. 3 o'clock Sunday, March 15th at the Pantages there in Tacoma. Lesley Ann Warren hosting the screening. A lot of fun. Speaking of special opportunities, Ciscoe Morris dropping by the show. He's got a controversial take. He says that putting bird baths in your yard is more strategic than bird feeders. Here's why.
I used to feed birds, but then I attracted rats, so I got rid of all the bird feeders, and I thought, oh, my birds are gonna leave my back garden. But guess what? If you've got lots of kinds of plants, what birds really need is water way more than food. They could find anything to eat back here. But the key thing is, even in the wintertime, birds need water to take baths, to drink, and so you've got to keep these bird baths clean to keep your little birdies happy and healthy. So you need a good strong blast of water. Really clean that out. You really want to do this every 3 to 4 days. If you don't, then kind of some yucky stuff starts to build up in there. And I haven't been doing it quite enough, I have to admit. So that's not looking that good. I think that I should do a little cleanup on this. I only do this if it looks pretty bad, but I think it's time. Get this clean. So why do I use vinegar to clean the bird bath? Birds hate like dish soap or cleaning soap. They don't mind vinegar a bit, and it's a great cleaning agent. So 1 part vinegar, 9 parts water, mix them up, give it a little shake, and pour it in there. Now, I don't care how much elbow grease you have, you're not gonna get all that out too easy. You wanna get yourself some kind of little brush to do the job. Oh, I should have done this a long time ago. Oh la la. Well, it's definitely better than it was. Okay, let's put it back where it was. I just gotta blast all the vinegar out of there. Now I'll fill it up. Oh, little birdies, look at all this nice fresh water. You can be just like me. Bathe regularly, at least once a month, whether you need it or not.
All right, thank you, Ciscoe, and I have it on good authority. He bathes much more than that. 2-3 times a month. I'm sure of it.
Still ahead, it washed up on a neighborhood beach.
Is it real? That is pretty much the #1 question, and it is real.
And got transformed into this town's newest attraction, the story of Gunther the whale.
Wow!
Local stories make a difference.
That's good.
With the power to enrich lives, strengthen communities, and make us smile. Evening is made possible by Primera Blue Cross. Primera Blue Cross, always in your corner.
And welcome back to Evening from Boehm's Candies here in Issaquah. We're hanging out with Judy and Jennifer, and as you can see, we've got hand-dipped cordial cherries. She's got chocolate and peanut butter, so I'm just gonna stay here, maybe forever. Now a hard pivot to a whale of a tale. Actually, it's the entire whale. A 40-footer washed up on the shore of a couple's home in Port Hadlock, and they decided, we're gonna make the most of it. Here's what they did.
So the bones came pretty clean from the beach.
Not many couples have this on their front porch.
This is the forearm, the foreflipper from Gunther.
And how it got here is a whale of a tale. Gunther is a 40-foot gray whale that died, then washed up on a beach a few miles from Dr. Stephanie Warwag's and Mario Rivera's Port Hadlock home in June of 2019.
And we were looking for somewhere to take the whale, and nobody would take it. The state parks wouldn't take it. So Stephanie and I just looked at each other and said, let's take it to our beach. And that's how we got started.
A research team towed the whale to their beach. When tides and scavengers began to scatter the bones, the couple got a permit from NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, to keep them.
We officially own Gunther.
And we're gonna use it for educational purposes with the Marine Science Center in Port Townsend.
And Gunther has been adopted by the whole community. Local students helped move the 500-pound skull with a rowboat and some muscle. Retired shipwrights Les Schnick and Rick Brendan reassembled the boats in their Port Townsend shop.
Everybody wants to know about the whale project, you know.
The goal? To rebuild the entire skeleton, all 157 bones, and give Gunther the whale a second life.
And hey, this just in, Gunther did not end up in Stephanie and Mario's yard. He is now Port Townsend's newest attraction. Take a look.
In Port Townsend, right next to the ferry terminal, is one of the only places in Washington where you're guaranteed a whale sighting 24/7.
Behind me is a 42-foot long skeleton of a gray whale that washed ashore at Port Ludlow in 2019.
This is Gunther, a gray whale that died and washed up on the beach by Dr. Stephanie Warwag and Mario Rivera's home.
Say Gunther.
Gunther.
Local shipbuilders helped put these bones back together. The Port of Port Townsend provided space on a downtown pier, and the Port Townsend Marine Science Center helped too. Getting Gunther here took a whale of an effort. The #1 question people ask about this skeleton?
Is it real? That is pretty much the #1 question, and it is real.
Look closely at that huge skull, and you can even see where the big gray broke his nose.
When they go to feed, they'll turn on their right side, get a mouthful of mud from the bottom, and every once in a while they hit something, and this one apparently hit something, it broke. The bone regrew to heal where it had broken.
Gunther will never swim in these waters again, but he's doing important work.
Gray whales are having a hard time right now, and this helps us remember how important it is to look out for the wildlife and the marine ecosystem and all the things under the waves.
And the couple who launched this Leviathan effort are thrilled to share their whale with the world.
Oh, this is great.
Amazing.
It's
so
big,
beautiful.
It's a big hit here in the town. The people love it, and the visitors love it, especially the kids. They think it's a dinosaur.
Oh, we're back. Good news, you can see Gunther the gray whale just about any time at his new home there in Port Townsend. Betsy says the coolest opportunity is at night. I agree. Might as well finish it.
Coming up, the Tacoma spot smoking and serving some of the best Texas-style barbecue in the Northwest.
Picklewood is kind of loosely based on Bushwood from Caddyshack, the movie. Our whole thing here is we want to be country club vibe, not take ourselves too seriously as a country club, obviously.
Mixing pickleball with, a great food and beverage program was an idea that I had to be really similar to bowling alley or Topgolf. Just the ability to come and relax a little bit, play pickleball, and have a beer is kind of the vibe we're going for. We just want it to be a place where people can come and hang out, even if you're not playing pickleball.
And welcome back to the show from Boehm's Candies here in Issaquah. Yes, they are still hand dipping and still hand wrapping. Carissa is showing you they're quite literally preparing for Easter as we speak. And suddenly the kids are interested in eating some carrots. Okay, whatever it takes, right? We head now to Tacoma, where another family-owned business in the barbecue business has been piling plates up high since the 1940s.
Talk about your smoke signals. For decades, everybody in Tacoma's Hilltop neighborhood has known when the pit is smoking, it's time to gather for the best Texas barbecue around.
All right, here we go. Yeah, buddy. Bob's barbecue ribs, baby. Right off the grill.
And you can ask anybody in Tacoma, and the first thing they'll tell you, oh yeah, I know Bob's barbecue.
Sit a spell with Miss Kay, and she'll tell you about her parents, who started it all, an Army cook and his wife, who moved here from Texas.
And they couldn't find any barbecue here in Tacoma. And they couldn't believe it. No barbecue? In Texas, there was barbecue everywhere. And my dad had learned to cook ribs when he was 9 years old.
In 1948, Bob started serving pit-smoked ribs, pulled pork, and chicken, all cooked slow and low. It's an art form that takes patience.
Some days you want to just stay home, but most of the time, ain't nowhere else to go but here.
The founder's grandson, Jonathan Clark, is the pitmaster now. The recipes have never changed.
Now see that right there? That sauce he's putting on there? Yeah, that's the secret right there.
One in Washington.
If I told you, I had to kill you.
Back in the kitchen, the meat is sliced up for dinners to go.
I've been coming in here for probably about 22 years, and each time I've come in here, I've felt so welcome.
That is the Miss Kay effect.
Hey, Richard.
Hey, baby, how we doing?
Hey, I'm great. How you doing?
In this neighborhood, she's not just family, she's mom.
They tell mom things, they ask her questions, they give her a hug, they bring her presents. It's like, and I love her.
Sure, the food is something special.
They're addicting, absolutely addicting.
But that secret sauce that keeps Bob's barbecue pit going, well, it just may be love.
She's a special person, got special powers.
Yum, Bob's Barbecue Pit. They are located in Tacoma's Hilltop neighborhood, and they are only closed on Sundays and Mondays. Now, if you'll excuse us, we've got to wrap 500 carrots.
Up next, 3 other very cute reasons to visit Issaquah.
Now in our 40th season, Evening shares local stories that make our community shine. Evening is sponsored by Pemco Insurance. Pemco empowers the Northwest to prevent the preventable. Learn how at pemco.com.
And welcome back to Evening from Boehm's Candies in Issaquah. My sincere thanks to Bernard, Tyson, Narissa, the entire family and team here at Boehm's Candies, wonderful protectors of Julius Boehm's legacy. I hope you will come celebrate this place just as I have with my family for so many years. And we leave you now with 3 other sweet things you can do here in Issaquah. Actually, sweet things you can go see at Cougar Mountain Zoo. We'll see you next time.
These are 3 6-month-old African lion cubs. One male and his 2 sisters.
That's the boy. That's Kamari.
One of the girls is Zella, and the other one is Kemba. When they came to us, they were under 20 pounds. They're all about 60 pounds now.
So that's absolutely incredible growth rate, about 1/4 of a pound to 1/2 a pound sometimes a day.